Hello, we're at the State Library of Western Australia and I'm here with Liz Byrski. It's Cheryl Arkle from Better Reading talking to Liz Byrski. Now I know that many of you have read Liz's work, Liz's writing, and have enjoyed it greatly. Now Liz, show us what you've got. Let's talk about your first book that we're going to talk about today.
Okay, Cheryl. Well, first of all, thanks for inviting me to do this with you. I'm going to talk first about The Woman Next Door, which is my latest novel that came out this year. And in my usual style, it's about older people. I'm still writing about older people, and the older I get, the more I want to do it. This book is about friendship, it's about relationships, it's about how things change as you get older, both for the good and also for the not so good. So one of the things I tried to do in writing this book was to stay with those ideas of ageing and neighbourliness and friendship and making the most of a time of your life. But this time I tried to get a bit tougher and deal with some more of the harsher aspects of ageing. So the book's set in South Fremantle, in a lovely neighbourly area, and in a street called Emerald Street. And no, there isn't an Emerald Street in Western Australia. People keep asking me and driving around there to look for it. There isn't an Emerald Street, but Emerald Street is typical of a South Fremantle street where there are some nice old houses and little cottages, and it's near the beach and it's near the town, and a lot of people have lived there for a very long time. So it begins with a group of people who have been neighbours for a long time, become friends, and the different relationships that they have together and with other people, and how they deal with some of the tougher aspects of ageing.
Now Bianca's just come in. We've had some readers come in, some Better Reading readers, and Bianca's saying, oh, she's got to read it. Now, do you want to hold up your book again, just so that we can see it? Okay, and it's called The Woman Next Door. I guess if you like Maeve Binchy, you might like Liz Byrski. Yep. Would that be a similar writing style?
Yes, I think so. Maeve Binchy, Joanne Trollope.
Yeah, Joanne Trollope. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's a good comparison. Yeah. Janine Thompson, I've read this book. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, how lovely.
So if you have any comments or if you have any questions for Liz Byrski, Liz is with me right here, right now, live at the State Library of Western Australia. Now you've also, we'll stay on your fiction for a little bit. So how many fiction books have you written?
This was my 9th novel.
It's your 9th novel.
And now I'm on my 10th.
Yeah, and I know you're going to be a little bit shy about this, but I think that this novel made the bestseller list, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It was there for, I think, about 5 weeks in the top 5.
Yeah, and that's a massive accomplishment. So congratulations. It was also our book of the week.
I know it was. Yes.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
We had lots of comments and lots of engaged readers interested in your book. So I know you also write non-fiction, and we'll get on to that. But tell me about the writing process. I mean, not many writers write both. Some do, some don't. But mostly writers will write either fiction or they'll write non-fiction. So tell me a little bit about the difference in style and how the mindset is for you to write about one and the other.
Yes. I started off as a journalist, and my first 12, 13 books were non-fiction books, and they were sort of extended acts of journalism. So that was a style and a genre that I was very comfortable with. But I always loved fiction, and I always wanted to be a fiction writer. So when I got the chance, when I was in a financial position where I only had to support myself and not my children, I thought I'd have a go at fiction. But
well, you've done really well.
Well, I've also been very fortunate. I think they were the right books at the right time.
Just let me interrupt you there. I've got Julia Hendy Cartwright. I've read every book you've written, so awaiting this one. Yes, and I love Joanna Trollope too. Love Liz Byrski. This is Tony Smead, reading Gang of Four at the moment. You've got a little fan club out there, or a big fan club. Sorry, now getting back to your fiction.
Well, can I just say thank you to those lovely readers, because it
of course
keeps me going. So I've forgotten what I was talking about.
You were talking about the difference between
yes,
writing
yeah.
fiction and non-fiction.
Yes.
Sorry, the readers and I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. I thought, because I was a fairly experienced writer, that it would just be quite easy. And I actually found it very difficult because the whole... the thrust, I suppose, of the non-fiction I had been writing was... it was quite didactic. It was factual stuff. It was books of interviews. It was a book about Western Australia, a book on spectacular sea rescues, something for school leavers, those sorts of things. And it's all telling. But fiction, of course, is all about showing things happening. And I found it very difficult, and I have 2 novels which are in the bottom drawer and which will never see the light of day.
Wow.
And have been rejected many, many times. But what helped me was that I had an adventure in my late 50s where I reconnected with a man that I'd been going to marry as a young woman. And I ended up writing a memoir of that experience. It was international. We met.
Oh, it's a love story.
Yeah, it was a love story. So we connected 37 years after our original relationship, and I wrote that. And of course, you can't tell a story like that in a didactic journalistic style.
No.
You have to, from standing back in all the other books, I was plastered all over the walls in this one. And that was called Remember Me. And that really broke the pattern for me and enabled me to write fiction. It was very different after that.
Now Stacey's come back, and Stacey Greentree, I have read all her books. I have read all your books, Liz Byrski. Love them all.
Good on you, Stacey. Thank you.
Now show me your non-fiction book. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
So this is with Fremantle Arts Press.
Yes, it is.
The lovely people at Fremantle.
Yeah, it's wonderful people. Wonderful
and
people.
it's called In Love and War.
Yes. In Love and War, Nursing Heroes. So this was a story, this is also memoir, but it's also history and commentary. I grew up in a town in England, in Sussex, called East Grinstead, which was the site of a hospital where some of the terribly badly fatally burned airmen from World War II were treated with plastic surgery. These men were called the guinea pigs because they were surgical guinea pigs. Archibald Macindoe, who was the surgeon, was pioneering, and he wanted to get them back into the service and recover. But some of them, great sections of their faces had been burned away, and it was an enormous challenge. And those men were around the town where I lived as a very small child after the war, and I was terrified of them because they were hideous to look at. So I was really, really frightened of them. And I used to dream about them, and even as I became an adult, I dreamed about them.
Wonderful, yeah.
And it sort of haunted me. And so I got to a point in my life, in my 60s, where I thought, this is ridiculous. I want to go back and find out more about these men and what happened to them and their stories and what it's like to be a guinea pig when you're in your 80s or 90s. So I went back to England for 6 months and I interviewed them. And while I was there, I also came across the fact that the women who nursed them did so in a very difficult work environment, because Macindoe really wanted the men to have everything that they wanted, to make them feel whole again. And so the women were under a lot of teasing pressure, and the ward was like, well, it sounds as though it was like a dormitory at a boys' school with all the boys behaving badly, practical jokes and...
it's a book that needed to be told,
yeah.
And it is a book that needed to be read. It's published by Fremantle Arts Press. It's called In Love and War. Now, we've got a message here from Emily McIntyre, a comment. Thank you for sharing the differences of your experience between writing fiction and non-fiction. It's great to hear about your books. Now, Carol George, please say hi to Liz from me.
Oh, hello, Carol George.
I think Carol
in Melbourne one day soon.
Yes, I think Carol's a friend to all of us. Hi, Carol, and thanks for joining in. Now, there is a competition, I hear, that
Yes.
Fremantle Arts Press are running. It's for Western Australian residents only. And if you jump onto the Better Reading Facebook page and tell us why you like reading Liz Byrski, what do you win, Liz?
You win me.
Okay, Carol, you might need to enter then. No, Western Australia residents only. And you actually win a dinner with a lovely...
dinner with me at the Esplanade Hotel in Fremantle.
Oh my God, what a great prize. So if you live in WA and you'd like to meet and chat with Liz Byrski, enter the competition. It's on our Facebook page. Tell us why you like Liz's books, and you're in the draw. You're in the running to win dinner with the lovely Liz Byrski. Okay, Liz, I think that's it from us. Thank you so much. We're at the State Library of Western Australia. I'm just going to pan around because it's such a lovely view and it's such a lovely day here. And Liz has come all the way here to chat with me, so thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Cheryl. It's great to be here with you.
Okay then. All right, well, we'll see you all soon, and thank you for joining in, and thank you to all the fantastic Western Australian readers and the Western Australian writers.